Hi, my name is Carlos, and this is my presentation on server-side programming. Before we start, let's review a few concepts. In the internet, we have computers that store information like HTML, JavaScript, CSS files, databases, and other information. These computers support data interchange with other devices connected to the internet. We call these computers servers. On the other side, we have computers that send a request for information to the servers, and when they get a response, display this information to the user. We call these computers clients. Clients send a request to the server, and servers send a response to the client. The type of response that the server sends can be of two types. One, information that is displayed and executed by the client computer and displayed to the user as is. And two, a client sends a request with specific parameters and the server executes a code using these parameters in order to send a personalized response to the client. The second type of response is the focus of this presentation. Let's review our definition. Server-side programming is a scripting technique that comprises utilizing scripts that are executed by a server computer when it receives a request with specific parameters in order to send a personalized response to the client computer. Some of the purposes of server-side programming are, for example, security. We can create a program that requires credentials to show the users only the information that we want to see. For example, when I go to a website that stores my personal information or preferences, I have to provide credentials in a form in order to access the information, and I'm only show the information that pertains to me. Something else that is hidden from view is the code itself. When we are viewing a page that was sent to us from a program that was executed on the server, we're only viewing the results rendered by the code on the server side, but we cannot see the code that rendered the page. Another reason for using a program that is executed on the server is to enable us to store information in a more efficient way. When we have a lot of information, storing one web page for every possible variation of that page would not be practical and would be hard to maintain. Instead, we can store one template of a page and insert information into that template from a database depending on the user preferences, credentials, or other criteria. Having a program request information before it executes and storing that information enables us to send user-specific notifications. This can be done via email, messages, or any other practical way. For example, when I visit Amazon and add an item to my cart, but abandon my cart before leaving, they will send me a notification reminding me that I didn't purchase the items on my cart before I left. Having a program request information before it executes and storing that information also enables us to perform data analysis so we can show personalized information to the user. The programming language used by modern client-side web browsers is JavaScript. On the server side, there are several programming languages like Go, Node, Python, Ruby, PHP, just to name a few. It's worth noting that JavaScript is the only language that works on both sides, the server and the client. The server-side programming languages differ from each other in a number of characteristics, like the learning curve. It will depend on how much support there is for the language and how clear the commands and the flow are for the programmers. Another characteristic is performance. You might have to choose one program over the other depending on how big your site is. There is also the familiarity. How many people use this tool? Another characteristic is structure. Some programs are file-oriented and might execute a specific file depending on the request received, and other programs might execute just a piece of code. There are other factors to consider independently from the programming language that we choose. For example, we have to decide what code would be appropriate to execute on the server side and what code would be appropriate to execute on the client side. There is usually a combination of both. We use websites that rely on server-side programming every day. For example, when we upload a picture to Instagram, the picture URL is stored in a database, and when someone goes to see the picture, there is a program that copies that URL from a database and puts it on the template that then is viewed by the user. Or when we do a Google search, the program copies part of several websites into a listing that then is pasted into a template where we see the search results. Server-side programming is used heavily for e-commerce. This application on the screen is called Shopify. The way it works is you enter information for products that you want to sell. When you submit the information for a product, that information is stored in a database by a program. Shopify also allows you to store a template for a web page for the product, so you don't need to have a single page for each product. It also allows you to save preferences for your website's aspect and functionality. Then, when a customer visits your store and decides to take a look at your products, a program executes on the server. The program looks in the database for the relevant information in order to populate the product template page. Server-side programming is a vast and interesting topic, and this presentation is by no means comprehensive. For example, there are many more characteristics of a program that might influence the decisions on which one you decide to use. Also, there are a few protocols for sending and receiving information, and there are many ways in which the request can be sent. There are many other aspects of server-side programming that we can't cover today. I hope this presentation gives you a general idea of what server-side programming is and what it is used for. Please let me know your questions.